everyone, I'm Yeme Jeanee. Today I'm going to talk with you about the Randlesham UFO incident, okay? So the Randlesham UFO incident is probably the most celebrated UFO incident in Britain. Among Brits, the Randlesham UFO incident is seen just as comparable in value to the Roswell UFO crash of 1947 in New Mexico. The Randlesham UFO incident happened in late December 1980. Some reports claim that it started as early as the 25th of December 1980 and it continued in some form until the 29th of December. It happened in the Randlesham Forest. There are 2 Royal Air Force bases in that location, and at the time of the incident, both bases were leased by the United States Air Force. Now, let me read you the official report made by Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles I. Halt. The report is dated January 13th, 1981. He writes, early in the morning of 27 December 1980, approximately 0300 local time, 2 U.S. Air Force security police patrolmen saw unusual lights outside the back gate at Royal Air Force Base in Woodbridge. Thinking an aircraft might have crashed or been forced down, they called for permission to go outside the gate to investigate. The on-duty chief responded and allowed 3 patrolmen to proceed on foot. The individuals reported seeing a strange glowing object in the forest. The object was described as being metallic in appearance and triangular in shape. Approximately 2 meters high, it illuminated the entire forest with white light. The object itself had a pulsating red light on top of and 1 or more banks of blue lights underneath. The object was hovering or on legs. As the patrolman approached the object, it maneuvered through the trees and disappeared. At this time, the animals on a nearby farm went into a frenzy. The object was briefly sighted approximately an hour later near the back gate. The next day, 3 depressions of 1.5 inches deep and 7 inches in diameter were found where the object had been sighted on the ground. The following night, on the 29th of December 1980, the area was checked for radiation. Beta and gamma readings of 0.1 milliroentgens were recorded with peak readings in the 3 depressions and near the center of the triangle formed by the depressions. A nearby tree had moderate readings of 0.05 to 0.07 on the tree towards the depressions. Later in the night, a red sun-like light was seen through the trees. It moved about and pulsed. At one point, it appeared to throw off glowing particles and then broke into 5 separate white objects and then disappeared. Immediately thereafter, 3 star-like objects were noticed in the sky, 2 objects to the north and 1 to the south, all of which were about 10 degrees off of the horizon. The objects moved rapidly in sharp angular movements and displayed red, green, and blue lights. The objects in the north appeared to be elliptical through an 8 to 12 power lens. They then turned to full circles. The objects to the north remained in the sky for an hour or more. The objects to the south was visible for 2 or 3 hours and beamed down a stream of light from time to time. Numerous individuals, including myself, witnessed these activities. Signed, Charles I. Halt, Lieutenant Colonel, USAF, Deputy Base Commander. So that is what we want to investigate with this remote viewing project report. What were those objects? What were they doing? And remember that all Farsight projects are done completely blind using instrument blinding protocols, which you can read about on our website, farsight.org. We consider this superior to blind or double blind since it enables our viewers to work solo. Solo and blind is best. Farsight remote viewers know nothing about the target or the nature of the project when they do their work, and they conduct their video sessions totally alone in the studio. Now, all remote viewing sessions have a target. Since all remote viewing work done at Farsight is done blind, the viewers obviously do not know the target when they're doing their work. But you guys need to know the target when you're watching them describe their data so that you can follow along. For this project, the target has one focus: Focus 1 is the activity that occurred during the Rendlesham incident that happened between the 25th and the 29th of December 1980. Subject A is the person who sees the most important aspect of the Rendlesham incident, and subject W is Steve Longuero at the time he was witnessing the target event. Steve Longuero was one of the USAF security police officers who witnessed the event. So let's dive in, starting with the session by Intysam, and then Aziz Brown, myself, and finally Shantae. This is what actually happened during the Rendlesham UFO incident. And please remind yourself constantly that Farsight is data-driven. We do not do he say, she said stuff, and we do not tell you what we heard from someone else or another reliable source. All of that can be manipulated. We show you raw data that we collect ourselves, and then you can make up your own mind. So now, look at the data. I will return after you see all of the sessions.
You are now seeing remote viewing data that was collected under the strictest scientific conditions. Each viewer was blind to the target. The sessions were conducted independently, and all results were captured on video with no feedback given until the very end. But how do we know the sessions are accurate? That they're not simply imagination, guesswork, or coincidence? That's where WSIM Plus comes in. A new method developed at Farsight that uses artificial intelligence to evaluate remote viewing data using semantic analysis. WSIM stands for Weighted Semantic Intensity Matrix, and here's what it does. It compares what the viewers described in their own words to the target itself, not based on surface language, but on meaning. It then runs that comparison against thousands of simulated random sessions to see what the odds are of getting such a match by chance. In this case, the Rendlesham Forest incident, the results were conclusive. The viewer data matched the target so well, the odds of getting that result by chance were less than 1 in a million. Statistically speaking, this is considered a decisive result. It means the viewers perceived the target, and the data are real. But Rendlesham is not the only case like this. In a moment, we'll compare what happened here to the Phoenix Lights incident, another major public sighting involving unexplained craft. And while both incidents involve massive, low-flying objects, you'll notice a striking difference in the beings inside. Because not all extraterrestrial encounters are the same, and not all of them want the same things.